Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex back in Sin City, talking to one of my favourite people, Carrot Top. How are you?
Oh, Carrot Top, yes. Your favourite. Good. Thanks for coming to the show.
Nice to see you again. I think it's been like 4 or 5 years since we last spoke.
Something like that, yeah.
Did I offend you last time?
No, not at all. You can't offend me. You saw the show. That's my whole job, is to offend just a teeny bit.
Just slightly. I mean, your T-shirt has the big letter C on it. I wondered what that stood for.
That's funny. I should say that in the show because I do a whole theme about cock. I should say that. That'd be hilarious. Have a shirt that we saw Carrot Top.
You can have that. You can have that gag on me.
For Carrot, but now that you say that, we added more of those jokes in the last couple of weeks. It's kind of becoming our inside joke for our crew about what the show's about. So,
I guess you've got to do that because, I mean, I saw you first, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and we spoke then, and then we spoke a little time afterwards, and then there was a thing with a massage that you told me about, and it put me off for a while. Are you still having your daily massage, by the way?
No, I get one a week. Just, but I get injured. You saw the show. It's like a very high contact sport. I'm out of breath and I'm running into stuff in the dark. Every night I run into something. I'm bleeding coming off,
I tell you what I love about you is your ability to move quicker than any other comedian I've ever seen. I don't feel sorry for you so much as your crew. How do they keep up with you?
They don't a lot of times. In fact, my mom, God bless her, she lives in Vegas and she comes and the first thing she always says to me is, "You're going too fast. You can't, the crowd, like you want, I'm like, but I think Vegas has done that to me because Vegas crowds are, they have zero tensions. They're walking around, there's like fire and things and lions and tigers and all these things and lights and then they come to the show and there's like, it's air conditioning and they're like, oh, it's quiet. So it's kind of a challenge to keep everybody up in the energy. And different when you're playing like Kansas City where they come to see you. It's kind of let's go see Carrot Top. Or here they're like, well, we can't get in to see Cirque, so we'll go see Carrot Top.
Is your theory also, if you didn't get this one, try the next one, and if you don't get that one, there'll be another one along very soon?
Well, hopefully. Sometimes you can go like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 where they don't get, and you're like, that's like tonight I was having fun with going, okay, I'll take that out. That was kind of just my part of having fun with when something doesn't go well, which has always been my favorite thing with comedy.
But the unfortunate thing about that is that gets as big a laughs as the jokes, because that's kind of funny too.
That was like growing up when I watched Johnny Carson. That was his big thing, was that he got bigger laughs when things didn't work. It was just his gesture like, ugh. Well, anyway, thanks for the quiet place to practice kind of thing. So with comedy, it has to be that, because I think if the crowd senses that you really are bombing, then it gets weird. So you kind of let them know, my show is about bombing. The whole show is about it doesn't make sense. So it's all about something doesn't work, then you get something that works and something doesn't. So you're right. There's always that one joke, hopefully, that's coming up that's going to get them. But it was like that tonight. It was like a roller coaster. There was one part where they were going nuts, and then there was a part where there was like 5 jokes in a row. They're like, I don't understand. Or they don't know the Beyonce thing. That was an inside. I don't know if people know that or not, but if you're not watching the news, you don't know. I didn't know anything about it. My crew said we should do something about Beyonce.
Well, it was interesting you put that in tonight. In the car on the way here, I made jokes about it, and these hadn't heard because they're in Vegas having fun. They're not watching the news, so they've got to catch up with.
Yeah. Same with the NFL. I just added that with the gay thing, and I kind of hiccuped a little bit because I kind of forgot that I just added that joke. It's so new, so I kind of didn't go into it like I normally. Like last night, I was ready for it, and then tonight I was like, wait, there's a joke about NFL and the gay player. Shit, So I did it, but there's so much to remember. So it's kind of hard.
Could you start a conference with what's going on in your head at any one point during that show? Because, there's a million things you can turn around and find to get you back into the show. But remembering in which order it's meant to be must be incredibly confusing.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the show that's not really in order. We have a kind of an outline, and then I kind of jump in and out of it. And my crew, God bless them, they're really on it because we did a couple things tonight we didn't plan. And we kind of look at each other kind of like that was fun. And you saved me on that, and I saved you on that kind of thing. So there is a lot of leeway in the show, which not a lot of shows have in Vegas. They're normal production shows that this number, good night. Yeah, we have a little more fun to kind of loosely play. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be your sound guy though, because you're so reliant on him. Because a lot of your stuff leads to him hitting the button for the punchline. He's got to be on the ball.
Yeah, he does. And last night we actually had a couple that he wasn't, and after the show he's like, "I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened." So, and if I'm ready for it, it doesn't happen. Like I didn't think it was the whistle. I think it was like they changed it, and it wasn't a sound. It wasn't a joke. Then the crowd's like, what the fuck? And I said, well, there's normally a song that goes in there. Then it's funny because it messed up, and then they're like, okay, they planned that. We didn't really, but... Yeah.
And that's the thing, you wouldn't know. It's a basic 90 minutes of craziness, your show, and you come on with high energy. I've asked you the question before, let's do it again. Is where do you pull that from? When you're stood in the wings, you're here at 0, and then you've got to go on to 100%.
You know what's interesting about that? I've always just somehow found the energy, because people always ask that question. Everyone always has that. I don't know who they are, but everyone says, what if you're not feeling good that night, or you're sick, or you're not in the mood? And we've had that one where I'm sick maybe, or something horrible has happened, that something even tragic that's happened in the world that you have to go on. That's harder than I always find the energy. I don't know what it is. I crank my music backstage, so right before I go on, I'm listening to Motley Crue or Queen or something, and I kind of have notes that I read through that kind of puts me into a place. Everyone came to see a show. Like, you got to remember they're out there to see a show. They want to have fun. So my number one note is always put on a good show. And the second one is it's how you finish. Because in any kind of analogy with sports or with anything in life, it's how you finish. And I've had shows that have been not going well for a while, and then at the end they're all just so happy. Or just like in sports, they're down 3 touchdowns, and they find a way to finish. That's always the most important thing, is finish whatever it is. So
do you also realize it's interesting watching you? I don't always need to laugh. It is kind of fascinating to see what
I've never seen it. That's the only problem. I'm always doing it.
You want to take the show
and watch it one day. It's horrible. I'm one of those people. I don't know if you're the same, but I can't watch me, and I can't hear me. If I hear if I'm driving and the ad comes, I'm like, like a billboard's one thing. I'm like, okay, I've seen myself, but listening or watching them, it's too critical. I've never really honestly gone back ever, I don't think, and watched a show.
I've never seen an audience where you've bombed, though. What's interesting tonight, looking around me, I mean, there was a couple who were in their 70s this side. There were kids.
Yeah, there's an eclectic age group tonight, which was... sometimes I always think that I kind of want to address that, because there was a guy in the front with a cane, and then there was really young girls. They're probably 19, and then there were some 30-year-olds, and then there were some 40, and then there was 70s, and so it's interesting what different age group laughs at what too. Like, I did something that was really pop culture, and the old guy, I kept looking at him, he was laughing, and the young people didn't quite. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. I've always had a fascination with the age groups that come to shows, and trying to find a medium that they all can kind of find something funny. Even if it's a whole show, I've had older people come back. I loved, like the lady that said, I loved your show. I didn't understand half of it, but it was everyone around me was laughing. So I guess I must, he didn't know the reference.
And I love how you add stuff in. I notice things every time. There was the lovely iPad joke. I won't give it away because that wouldn't be fair. But there's things you add in that make me laugh out loud that are just so clever. Do these things come to you in the middle of the night? How do you think of them? Yeah,
they're always different how they come about. Some are like pop culture references are like the Miley Cyrus, whatever it is. So I just kind of thought there should be something with a tongue. So when I thought a drill, put the two together, kind of crap. I think I was on a plane one time reading a book, and there was a guy next to me, and I said I had an iPad, and I said, "What's that?" It says a Kindle. So I said, "Oh," and I just thought, what would be a redneck version of that particular item? So it would be a book in glass, So that's a kind of, I've always never really understood where the thought process comes in. And sometimes it hits me at 4 a.m, and I was like, there it is, I got it, and I make it.
What's also nice about you, I've noticed of late, since the first time I saw you, you were sort of fighting to be Carrot Top. Now, there's been a sort of turn that you're part of the establishment, you're referenced here, there, and everywhere. You've made it. People aren't coming here by accident now. They know who you are. Are you proud of where you've got to now and what you've achieved? I mean, you've been here an awfully long time. You would have been gone now if you weren't any good, surely.
I think so. That's one of the strangest things about this business is people always, as you do it longer, people will say to you, like, wow, you've had a good run, and wow, you must be doing something right. And as an entertainer, you don't think that. You just kind of think, well, why would I not be? But then at the end of the day, when I'm laying there, I go, there is something to be said about that, I guess, because I did go through I went through a struggle with, and I was always doing good with my fans, but people would be like, Carrot, it was love or hate. So I always found it funny that, I used to always say, if you're not a fan, don't come to the show then. If you're a fan, then you come. If you don't, then whatever. I don't, it's like anything. It's like with music. I listen, if I like it, I like it. If I download it. but I did go through that phase, and then I did become. I think there's one day where I actually said to myself, "Yeah, I am who I am," and Jesus, I'll be a veteran, soon. So 30 years in this.
Right.
So you kind of. That's the key though. The whole time though is now that you get to this level is becoming harder. The job is to focus more to keep everybody happy. You want to leave unhappy. You don't want to leave where they go, oh, I should give it up, kind of thing. So you want to keep keeping the show fresh and keep people happy, and you'll know, when people stop coming and there wasn't, then sad reality of it is. So, yeah, I have friends of mine that always say, how come you still write? Why you just you have an act that can get you through the next 10 years, just do the same thing. And I'm like, that's never been my theory. My equation is always to keep new and fresh, even if it's, it's the same formula that I might have, but it's a new, like that thing on the NFL is now. The Beyonce thing's now, so I try to keep it all current. Even the songs that I try to pick, some are old, some are, topical songs that people might know. I think I even referenced that tonight. I actually said, well, at least he's working. I never said that before, but it maybe just for some reason, because the joke didn't do that well, and I said, come on, give me credit, it's current,
Somebody said to me recently in the UK, how are you doing? And I said, well, I'm still doing it, which is better than most, isn't it? The fact you're still at it must mean that I suppose you've achieved some level of success.
And I think that all the time. There's not a night that goes by that I'm not either up there in the middle of the show thinking that, or before the show or after the show driving home. I always think, wow, I'm still doing this. And when people say it to me a lot too. Just the other day, some kid, just like 19, said, wow, isn't that cool? You're still doing it, man. That's awesome. And I was like, but you hear that more and more, so then you start thinking now, I don't want to hear it. I would rather say, hey, it's, whatever. They kind of bring you back to, like, I have good friends with Queen from your town there. Exactly. And they always say the same thing when I saw them play here with live at the iHeartRadio. I was like, how cool is that? And he said, well, we're still doing it, right? And I was like, yeah, but you were awesome, man. It's not like you're just still doing it. You should be doing it.
Exactly.
You're Queen, so.
I've interviewed Brian May in the past, and I always say to him, I can't imagine being you, to go around the world hearing you whenever you switch on, and to have that level of respect that people are prepared to get their earned money, which is, let's face it, there's not much of it around, and then give it to you and say, right, come on, entertain me. That surely is the greatest honor.
Absolutely. And what's really funny, you just brought Brian May into this, because the joke that I do in my show where I say, I'll be Cotton Top, is when I met him, he has my hair but white, and I said, oh, it's Carrot Top and Cotton Top. And then he laughed, and I said, I'm going to put that in my show, and I did. So that's from Brian May.
I mean, this is real. You say in the show that this isn't dying?
I used to say I don't curl it, comb it, color it, nothing.
Howard Stern says the same about his, but there's going to be a day you wake up and it doesn't look like that. Are you going to be humble and allow yourself to do the Brian May and become grey, or you could just, you can't be Carrot Top.
It's gray. What's really funny is in the daytime, in the light, there's a lot of gray in my hair. Seriously. Now, Howard Stern's a liar. He must color his.
You believe that?
I've been on his show, but he's got black hair. No, come on. He has a color. But I have not colored mine yet. If we turn the lights up, you see tons and tons. I kind of think, I don't know. I'm as an entertainer, you're all kind of vain a little bit and kind of, But I don't think people would buy it if it was like this dyed hair. I think that we would have to say, that's cool. I like when I see Bonnie Raitt. That's what my friend always, you look like Bonnie Raitt. She's got the little white and her red. So I think I'll just have to let it go.
I think so, because the one appeal you have is that you're the underdog in your show. Despite the fact you're fit and despite the fact you have the hair and all of that, you always put yourself...
It's a bodysuit that I wear.
It's like an inflatable.
Yeah, some lady asked me that. She saw the show and she's like, after the show, she's like, was that a bodysuit? And I was like, how weird is that? That I wear a bodysuit to do the... No. I said, I do the gym every day and do crunches, that stupid Mick Jagger bit.
The Oprah in me wonders whether at the end of the show, when you come on naked for your punters and to titillate them with your nakedness, whether...
But that's only because I've done that from day one. I don't. It's not really. It's just. It's almost to leave the show. The whole show is got a. It doesn't even. I don't know how it happened, but I've done that forever, and people have always said, "Wait, but how long are you going to do that?" I said, "Well, until I can not pull it off." So I just keep doing it. But there's a whole level of the show's kind of creepy, and then at the end it's even creepier, and then you go, "Why do you take your shirt off?" But then it works. It makes sense. But then they're like, "It's kind of weird."
But you see, I think we're in the same boat. I've said this before. Being ginger is virtually a disability, especially where I live. So is that you at the end going, actually, I'm quite fit, and I know some of you ladies will sleep with me?
Nope, never thought that, ever. I've always been the goofy guy. No, I've never been out the guy to take your shirt off to kind of get them to go, ooh. I've always liked goofy. And I think maybe they leave going, oh, it's not really that goofy. Okay, it's kind of rock and roll. It's kind of cool. But no, I've always just done that. I was always just a skinny guy that just took my shirt off a lot. And I thought one night at the show, I said, I'll just take my shirt off.
Yeah, I won't be taking mine off during my show. I think it's best I leave my
put
clothes
it back on. You've had your own off the whole interview. It's kind of creepy.
I thought you'd be enjoying it.
I have.
It's nice to see you again, and it's nice to see this show that you still have energy to do it, because I have great admiration for anybody who has the discipline to turn up at a theatre night after night.
I had a guy here the other night. I don't know his last name. His name's Clarence. I wish I knew his last name, but he's an old cat they did everybody, Michael Jackson, and you could look up it's unbelievable. And that was his comment. He came to the show and he said, I really appreciated the energy. I guess it was most entertaining. I don't know. I've always found the energy to be the easiest part of the show. But he had mentioned that too. Said I like the energy and to come in night after night, because I know it's tough, but it's not really tough. It's like it's your job, and it's fun. You go up there and you're like, I'm in show business. I say that every time I go on, I'm Mike, and they go, please, and I hit my guy's fist, and I said, show business, baby, because it's awesome.
And surely this is what you've dreamed of. This is it. If it's not going to get any bigger or better, you're in Vegas, you're starring in your own show.
Or an architect, believe it or not. But then I got into this. But no, this is, even when something's going really poorly, though, honestly, you look up at night, and I look at the lights and look at the thing, and I'm like, I'm in show business. It's pretty cool.
It must be great to be you. Carrot Top, always nice seeing you.
Laugh and smile. That's the best part. You feed off that energy every night. So it's a very cool job to come to work and laugh every night. So
I think the greatest compliment I can pay you to end with is that you say some really offensive things. You push it further than most people do in Las Vegas, but you have a warmth about you.
But I think that's part of being a comic. Is it's tragedy, and it really is. It is how much you push it, though. I did years ago. I just did a lot of state fairs, and there was the age group was literally 8 or 4-year-old strollers to 80-year-olds, people cotton candy and rides. And the show used to be a really clean show. And I remember I did a fair one time, and it was the cleanest show I've ever done. And the next day there was an article in the paper, and the woman wrote it, said, first of all, I just gotta say that it was the most foul, most like juvenile, whatever. But I laughed the whole time, and he made it a comfortable something. And I was thinking that was like the cleanest G-rated show ever, and she still said it was foul and disgusting. Yet she said it came off in a way that was fun and likable, I guess. So she said everyone around was like, it was pushing it, but still silly. So that's always how I've wanted to be. I've never wanted people to leave and be just turned off or being like, God, that was really mean or mean-spirited. That's why a lot of during the show I would say, I kind of show the fact that I've been picked on too my whole life, and that this is all a joke. So.
Exactly. I mean, with our faces, you have the right to sort of throw a little bit back. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I earned that, right?
Carrot Top, lovely to see you. Thank you.
Lovely to see you, too. Thanks for coming all the way down, too. Thanks for bringing your friends.